Hello, this is Greg Allison with Green Greg's Garden and Worm Farm, coming to you in the wee hours of the morning of the 10th of February, 2021. Time on deck, 02/2400 hours, Central Standard Time. Now, there's a whole new set of FDA rules coming out to regulate food safety. Question is, will this stifle the smaller farmers? What will it do to us? And guess what? These are proposed rules, so you can still push back. What I like to bring to you is solutions where you can take action and do things to continue to preserve your freedoms and means of operation, because the small farmers are really being squeezed these days. And as we know, small farms, family farms are being put out of business in droves, and everything is going more and more to the corporate scale. But there is a resurgent movement in small organic farms, what we call small plot intensive agriculture, spin farms, things like that. But it's a highly regulated road, and there's been certain exemptions that's allowed small farms to escape certain regulations, but the encroachment is coming, and it's getting bigger and more and more. As I've often talked about in this channel, it is my belief that they're trying to regulate us out of business so that nobody can basically be self-sufficient, and everybody's got to work for the man, the government, or the big corporations. So they want to knock out all the ladders for the middle guys, or make it where the middle guys are really small. So this is our chance to push back at it. It's our chance to take activity. And by the way, right now it's February, and guys, if you've not got your seeds, you need to get them. You need to get them now for planting, because right now is a good time to start seeds, get ahead of the curve, get your seeds now. And you can help me and yourself by going to my link for True Leaf Market to get your seeds. My channel, and be good for you. They got a whole big range of stuff, including seeds you can grow indoors for microgreens. And they have all the supplies you need for growing microgreens and a whole lot of other stuff. These are non-GMO, heirloom, air pollinated type seeds. It's good stuff. True Leaf Market. Use my link, which are in the show notes and in the pin notes below. Also, if you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe, bang the notification bell, and click all, because I will be bringing you more videos in the future on gardening again, worm farming, and eating for the weeds and trees, and many other topics about things that you'll need to know to survive, thrive, and stay out of the hive. And I do bring you videos about things going on in the world, so you can keep your eyes wide open and head on a swivel. I typically call my channel followers swivel heads, because I know you stay aware. All right, there we go. So I'm going to get into it. I'm going to tell you about this these proposed regulations. So this FDA proposed rule would apply to almost everyone involved in the food system, including farms, cottage food industries, operators, co-ops, restaurants, and this is for food that the FDA list is high risk. And I'll show you the list. It looks like almost everything you'd eat. So it's like, yikes. So these are extensive rules that apply to and invoke extensive record keeping requirements, including electronic spreadsheets, GPS coordinates of where the food is grown, and the location, date, and time the food is harvested, cooled, packaged, shipped, and used for an ingredient in any other food. You're saying, wow, yeah. So some of these high risk categories include things like soft or semi-soft cheeses, eggs, seafood, almost all your leafy green vegetables, herbs, all your herbs, tomatoes, cucumbers, and much, much more. It's almost like if you can eat it, it's in the list. I'll show you in a little bit. Nuts are not part of it. I'm not going to tell. So we'll go into this in a moment. But, all this comes out of, so-called concerns about foodborne illnesses and things going around. A lot of that is stuff that takes place at your big operators. So they take raw components that are shipped in from God knows where, and then they bring them into the central processing facility and do various and sundry things with them. It also comes from a lot of your really large agri farms. They're producing a lot of produce where they got pigs running through the wild pigs running through the fields. And I really suspect one of the biggest culprits is these really big food processing facilities and some of the really big farms, especially the big food processing facilities and packing facilities. It's the employees. They don't wash their hands. I mean, they go to the bathroom. They find this in restaurants. I mean, there is a reason that they found that in fast food restaurants, the ice is usually dirtier than the water out of a toilet. Now that's been the findings. Yeah, there's a reason for it. Dirty hands. It doesn't take but a few employees who won't wash their hands to contaminate all kinds of. There you go. The evidence is already out there. Yet, who do they want to make suffer? All the food growers, and they're trying to ratchet it down tighter and tighter to the smaller and smaller guys. See, the big guys can afford the overhead of this paperwork. It's good for them because it gives them market share because it squeezes out their small competitors. See what I'm saying? Most of the regulations are proposed in an industry are proposed by the bigger operators, not to give you safety, it's to squeeze out their competition. I've talked about that in a video I called How Government is Actually Run. And it's where the regulatee and the regulator are in bed with each other. And everything's favoring the big companies. That's why I often tell you in my channel, vote for the small operators, the independent operators, and vote with your dollar. That's what I mean. Spend your dollar. This is the most effective thing you can vote with because this is real. When you put this dollar to somebody, they get that vote. There's no false tabulations to be figured with that. So whatever you think about that, when you spend a dollar, you spun a dollar, or whatever you spend, Bitcoin or whatever it'll be down the road. But support your local growers, support your local tradesmen. That's how we keep our economy afloat. That's how we maintain and preserve independence of the small people in this country. And that's what we need to do. So, as you know, there was this thing called the Tester Amendment. Maybe you don't know. The Tester Amendment was what gave exemptions for a lot of small farms from the Food Safety Modernization Act, FSMA, FSMA, as you may want to call it, right? So, it allowed certain exemptions for small operators. However, under this new thing, some of those exemptions may not apply as well as you think. They're still in there, but it's a little different. So the kind of exemptions we're talking about now, which kind of preserves the Tester Amendment, is now see they were going to squeeze everybody in. The Tester Amendment is what saved a lot of the small businesses in the farming world. But so what it is that you can still grow, thankfully now you can still grow food for personal use. Okay, don't take that for granted. If they can find a way to regulate, they came close to that, regulating that. So, of course, let's enforce that, right? Farms that sell less than $25,000 in produce annually. Okay, but there's a rub to that. There's a catch now. There's a new catch to that. Okay, businesses that sell $25,000 or less annually. Well, that's a heck of a way to have a business, right? Can you want to survive on a business for $25,000? That's tough. That's a very low threshold. Egg producers with less than 3,000 hens. Eggs may be the way to go. 3,000. I could have 2,999 hens. Hey, I like that. Of course, nonprofit establishments such as food banks and soup kitchens and stuff like that are exempted too, right? So there's some other exemptions in farm sales. But see, this is where the tricks are in the farm sales. So what they're allowing there is that if you're selling straight to the customer, like in farmers markets, you're okay. If you're selling to, well, pretty much okay. If you're selling to consumer supported agriculture, somebody comes to your farm and buys stuff. If you're selling the producer, so there's no supply chain in there really, where things are getting old and being shipped. You're selling it straight to your customer, delivering straight to the customer, or they coming to you to pick it up. So at the farmers market, doing a CSA, they're pretty much exempting that without the so-called cash limit, which is the good thing, especially considering that CSAs are the new big growth area. As I said, especially when people don't want to get out with bugs going around, CSA's got a lot more growth potential, and there's still a lot we can do with it. Now, all that said, so you go, oh, well, yeah, but I got a $25,000 exemption I can sell to the store over here. The problem is that store has got the same kind of rules on it. And if it's buying and selling more than that, it's got to do the regulation. But the regulation that's counting on is, again, when was the food, GPS coordinate, when was the food harvested, when was it refrigerated, da-da-da-da-da. And to get that data, they got to come back to you. See what I'm saying? So therein is the rub. You're losing a potential part of your market unless you're taking it to the gas station maybe or a drugstore, but to the local grocery store, you might have a problem with that. A lot of places just won't allow that anyway. I do know in like Tennessee, it's hard to sell. I'm told I'm not in Tennessee, but I've did some preliminary checks. It seems like it's hard to sell anything up there that going full blown FSMA. But now this is bigger than FSMA. See, this is added paperwork, all kind of added paperwork. What's this added paperwork? Here's the problem. This could reduce food supply and increase food cost. I just told y'all food prices are going to go up. Well, guess what? All this new regulation is new labor that's going to go into your product because these farmers have got to track all this stuff, tracking, spreadsheets, data requirements. You have to keep records for 2 years. 2 years? Why 2 years? Food don't last that long. I mean, somebody's ate it and either got sick or they didn't get sick. And that's going to occur within, what, 6 months, 3 months, 2 months? Why 2 years? I think 2 months is probably the whole time of cycle for most of that stuff. So it's kind of funny. I don't know. But see, it's left to the government. Who said the rules had to make sense, right? And what does the Food Safety Act buy you? It buys you squeezing up the small guys who produce food safely, and it's pushing out small farmers and pushing things more corporate farms. So now you get, instead of cows running around on green, they're in the feedlots with cow up to their udders, which is obscene. It's nasty. You can smell a cow. These dairies supposed to be a beautiful thing, right? Flowers and grass and happy cows. No, they stink for miles. The ones out west, because they raise them like pigs. Poor cows. Yeah, I mean, plus they got to give them tons of hormones because they got them all packed in together. Man, that's nasty. That's nasty. So that's why you're getting all the hormones. That's why you're getting all the medicinals, the antibiotics, particularly. Yeah, the antibiotics. So there you go. It's a mess. So that's what food safety buys you. Nasty stuff that's not safe. The big corporations are the ones that get more and more market share, and they're the ones that's most likely to have more and more people who aren't washing their hands. They'll document all this other stuff. That's what you're getting. Dirty hands in your produce, in your food, instead of a farmer really cares about what they're producing. Yikes. It's best that we can keep stuff more on the hands of the small farmer. That's what I tell you. Vote local with your money, your dollars. Buy from your small farmer, your neighbor. He can tell you what goes in. You get to know the person. You'll know what they're like. That's the beauty of buying from a local farmer. Or grow your own. Even better yet. So you can go to my Tree Leaf Market and buy seeds. Right now is an opportune time to start growing your own. I'm going to show you links here in a little bit for where you can go take action on this. Okay. In fact, let's do that right now. Let's go to this website here. I'm going to show you also the FDA website on this stuff. Share screen. Bing. Here we go. Take action. I am going to put this in the show notes. And there we go. Take action. Let's scroll up. This is pretty much the kind of. This is Weston A. Price Foundation talking about these proposed things here. It's pretty much what I just told you. And the cool thing is they've got this you can go to submit comments online. You can go online right here and submit your comments to this. You got to do it by the 22nd of February by it's before midnight Eastern time. Okay, so we still got a little over a week to do this, guys. And even better yet, they give you sample content. Don't write it word for word, but you can cut and paste this, put your name in it, and dink around with the words a little bit so that you can make it individualized. Wow, that's a whole lot of stuff to say for sample content. But anyway, it gives you some idea of what you can put in here. They give you other guidance for your comments. So this is a great site. I love these kind of websites that tell you what you can do to take care of yourself. So I got to share this with you. So this goes on into it. This goes a lot into it too. Plus they got a link in here to the actual regulation. And I've highlighted the part of the regulation here. Let me scroll this over on the screen right here. It pretty much tells you just what I mentioned here. It talks about the exemptions per the Federal Code 1. 1305 sub B. And consistent with section 204 D6H and I of FSMA, we propose exempt farms, send that's back to the test direct, from the proposed traceability record keeping requirements with respect to food and farm or produced on the farm, including farm that is food that is also packaged on the farm, when the owner or operator, okay, wait, hang on, let me break this down. They're exempting the food and the methods of sales, not necessarily the farm. To be exempt totally, you got to fit all these exempt categories, my friends. If they catch you on one, you're not, you got to do some paperwork, okay? Especially, something if this goes through and you're selling to a grocery store, some places you used to wouldn't have to worry about because you were down under the $25,000 level. Yeah, they're not though. So they got to keep that, and for them to keep the records, they got to push it back on you if you want to sell it to them. Of course, you can just not sell. Of course, that means you don't make money. Those CSAs. But look, guys, so how long before they want to come back and get rid of that? So these are, why can agencies pass rules all left and right and regulate us to death? This should be stuff that comes through Congress or something. Holy smoke. So the means of the owner or operator agent in charge of farm sales food is produced, both produced and packaged on the farm directly to the consumer. There we go. The farm will not be subject to the proposed subpart S requirements with respect to food, e.g. record keeping requirements applicable to food growers. Doesn't say you won't have other cleanliness requirements. These direct consumer sales by farms would include applicable sales at farmers markets, roadside stands, oh yeah, I forgot that, roadside stands, over the internet, because you're still selling straight to a consumer, right? Okay. And through community supported agricultural programs, CSAs. There you go. Oh, there, I forgot that one. Oh yeah, I sell garlic, and I can sell garlic and turmeric over the internet. They'll last. You can ship that stuff. Anything that will last in shipment, but not a lot of stuff you don't sell on the internet. All right, my friends. So here it is. This is what this thing covers. And now that I read that part, I had it highlighted. I mean, this is huge. This is long. I mean, do you want to have to learn all this stuff? And here's the list of things that are traceable. Eggs, nut butter, cucumbers, herbs fresh, includes all types of herbs. Leafy green vegetables, includes all types of leafy greens, lettuce, iceberg, blah, 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 everything. Melons, includes all types of melons, cantaloupe, honeydew, blah, blah. Peppers, includes all types of peppers. Sprouts, includes all types, varieties of sprouts. Tomatoes, all varieties of tomatoes. Tropical tree fruits, oh my gosh. Fruits and vegetables, fresh cut. Includes all types of, yeah. So it's kind of like if you eat it. Yeah, this is pretty broad. Fin fish, including smoked fish, crustaceans, mollusks, bivalves, ready to eat deadly salads. Oh yeah, probably especially that. See, this just goes on and on and on. Guys, do you want to, and just the language in here is really convoluted, legalese. It's constantly citing other places, 21 CFR part 507. You go over here to 204 sub D sub 6 sub G of FSMA. But code 1.2, I mean, a paragraph, every paragraph is just chock full of references. I mean, just to read a paragraph, you got to go back and forth between, a half a dozen different documents. What's it say? What's it say? I mean, come on, guys. So this thing, as big as it is, it's just the tip of the iceberg, because the real meat is in all these other references. Holy smoke. Yeah. So that's what regulations do to you, man. So this is just full of it. Yeah, look at all this reference numbers everywhere you see in here. This thing is just chock full of these. 1.3.3.7. I mean, hey, I even pulled up the Cornell Law School trying to find some of this stuff because they got all kind of legal code. And you know what? I didn't find the one I was looking for. They had several different references in there, but I didn't find the one. I was looking at all this stuff. I was looking for subpart 1305.3. and I found a zillion other 1305. So there you go. It's an interesting thing here to trace all this stuff down, to have to go around and around. I mean, guys, look at this. It's just pages and pages and pages and pages of this stuff for this rule. So if you really want to just sit around and spend yourself a week learning this stuff and going in and out and figuring it out and kind of how to interpret it, and then figuring out how to implement it and starting to implement it, blah, 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 I'd encourage you to make the call or go online and the link provided and that other thing like that. Look, guys, it just keeps going. Just keeps going. Here's some of the codes now. Actually, here are the actual codes here. Yikes, guys, this just goes and goes and goes. This is huge, huge, huge. Regulations.gov. Wow. Okay, there it is. It's a proposed rule. It could change. So it don't mean that this is what's actually going to pass. You know, what you'd want to learn is what they actually come up with. But the whole object is to say, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. So I'll put the link here, come in, go down here, click on it, and oh, that's one of the rules here, excuse me. It's on down here with the take action page. Come right here, click on it, wherever it is. I think I just passed it. Yeah, I'm scrolling too fast. My bad. Here it is. Take action section. There it is. Take action. That is it. So you can take action to make sure that, you know, this may not hit you yet. Okay, Greg, I don't sell $25,000. Greg, I sell everything in a farmer's market, and it's like $10,000 a year. But maybe you want to grow. Maybe you want to help protect the guy sitting next to you, or your neighbor, your aunt, your uncle who are in this business. Because there's a thing called bureaucratic creep. It just keeps growing and growing and metastasizing and growing. And then, yeah, I'm thinking of Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds, you know, red weed growing. Yeah, that's the way bureaucratic creep is. It just keeps growing forever, growing, metastasizing, choking, like kudzu. It's like kudzu. So you got to cut the kudzu, guys. So let's do it. All righty, that's it. That's what I got to tell you. Let me stop the share, come back here. Bam. Hey, hello. All righty, guys. So I know you watched it this long. Said, Greg, I want to help you. We're going to cut the kudzu. Just call there. It won't take you a minute. Go online, you know, cut and paste, throw your name in. You can put that thing in, do it all in 5 minutes tops, probably. So there we go. Let's do it. Let's help our farmers. Even if you're not really growing anything other than a tomato in your backyard, how long is it going to take them to decide they want to regulate you where you can't do that? Oh, they want you to buy. Hey, they've done it in certain countries. You know, Idi Amin and some of those guys have said, you know, gave all the farmland to the generals and said, you know what, you can't grow your own gardens. They made it illegal in their country to grow a garden. Well, countries where people were starving to death, you can't grow a garden. You got to buy from this guy, my general who just took over that farm. Never mind that general don't know how to farm. See what I'm talking about? Woo! You never know. You never know. Never know what government's going to come up with next. You know, especially with our buddy Billy Gates. So he's such a big farmer now. He might decide, you got to buy my Franken meat, and you got to buy produce from my farm, so you got to buy from the big guys. I don't know. Speculate. So maybe you love Bill Gates. Yeah. All right. Some of us don't. Some of us don't. So there you go. So once again, just say, Greg, I support you. We're going to cut the kudzu. All right. Thank you for watching.